Hi, one of my first videos on this channel was about an overview on the various things that can create learning difficulties. From that video, you will know that there are actually many reasons why a child can't learn. This can happen to a child who has no diagnosis at all, i.e. they are not defined as being dyslexic, ADHD, autistic, or whatever label that is available in the market. So we as a parent, a simple layman, how would we know that our child is not performing up to the optimum in their school because of some hidden challenges that they are facing? Well, today's video is all about showing you a wonderful free online assessment that you can go through to identify the issues that your child could probably be having and the type of experts that you should be talking to look into the matter further. You know, sometimes when we have children who have difficulty learning and yet they are so normal, we really have no idea as parents where to send them to. So I hope you will find this video useful. This is my first assessment video resource. I will be having a few more coming round, so keep a lookout for it. Now we're going to move on to this free LD profiling video. Assessment, you will first open your browser. It can be any browser. In my case, I've chose to use Google, and you search for the website www.movetolearn.com.au. This will bring you to Move to Learn's website. It's a company based in Sydney, Australia, with branches across Australia and also representatives throughout other parts of the world. I myself am a certified practitioner with Move to Learn, and I represent them in Southeast Asia. So you can read more about them in the individual tabs here. What I want to bring you to is the Resources tab. Under the Resources tab, you would see that the first item here is called Free Interactive LD Profile Test. LD here stands for Learning Difficulties or Learning Disabilities. Click here and you will go to a page which explains to you about the different things that can actually affect a child from learning at his or her best. It does not need to be a child who has underlying problems. It could be a pretty bright child who is just not able to learn in school. Barbara's first book, Barbara is the founder of the Move to Learn program. Help Your Child to Learn, her first book, explains to you some of the things which we parents tend to ignore, thinking that it's a child's behavior that's affecting the learning. So if we move down, down here, you would see, click here to access the test. This is the assessment test that I would like you to download. So when you click here, the system will start downloading an Excel file. So what you would need to do for this free assessment is a laptop and also the Excel program. If you are using the mobile phone, then you have to make sure that you have Excel installed on your mobile phone, but I would still recommend you doing it on a computer or on your laptop, because then the answering is much easier than doing it on a mobile. Now the file has been downloaded, so I'm going to open it. The system will bring you to the first page, which is the copyright page, telling you the do's and don'ts, and the second page is about how to answer the questions. To answer each question, you must enter a yes or a no. Okay? If you have a situation where the child behaves differently at different times and you say, well, it's sometimes a yes and sometimes a no, so what do I do? Well, just take the one that seems to be more often the characteristic. So if most of the time they can do certain things, you will answer a yes. Then, below here, you will see various tabs. In my overview on learning difficulties, I actually shared with you some of the things that can affect a child's learning. But in reality, there are more things than that. Food and chemical sensitivity, joint and muscle problems, physical development, hearing, communication, vision, including organization, can all hinder a child from performing at its best. So to begin the assessment, the first questionnaire is actually the food and chemical sensitivity. You are advised not to skip any one of them for an accurate analysis. To come to the food and chemical sensitivity section, you can either click the tab here or you can click the next button shown on this screen. So if you click next, then you would be able to see questions where you are supposed to put in your answers. So let's just say now for the first one, does your child look pale and have dark circles under the eyes even with sufficient sleep? Let's just say it is a no. So just enter a no. It doesn't matter whether it's upper lower case, a combination of uppercase or lowercase. They all mean the same. If we look at the score down here at the bottom, you'll see that there are some calculations. And let's just now say the second question, does your child get mouth ulcers often? And I just use small letters and say yes. You come down, you would see total yes is 1. So see, this is small letters, YES. So as long as you enter YES, whether it's capital, whether it's lower, or whether it's a combination of big and small letters, it just recognizes the word YES for yes. Okay, so you just carry on, and if we were to move down now and come to one of the section like this one here, okay, are muscle aches a particular trouble? So let's just say your child doesn't have speech or your child doesn't ever complain. So you won't be very sure whether the child has got muscle trouble or not. Then in that particular case, I would recommend that you just leave this one blank, okay? And you carry on doing the same thing for all the other tabs. As you finish each question, there will be a next, and the minute you click the next, like when I'm in physical development, when I've finished and I click next, it will go to hearing. Just bear in mind though that in some of these tabs, there are actually more than one section to it. Okay? So like hearing, you have 2 sections. Communication, you have 2 sections. And vision has 3 sections. So you make sure you complete every one of the section here. The safest way is just to keep completing the questions until you see the next sign, because next is the determination of the end of the section. And you do it all the way until organization. When you have finished keying in all your answers, the next page, which is the profile page, is actually your result. If I were to click to it now and you have a look, then you'd say, this chart doesn't tell me anything. And that's because the only one I keyed in was under food and chemical sensitivity. But other than that, everything else is 0. So what I'm going to do now is to pull out a test which has been fully completed so that you can look at the kind of results you would expect from here. This particular profiling test has all the questions answered, and you'll see something like a spider web where there are spikes going here and there. There's one, okay, which shows a very high spike, joint and muscle problem, indicating 56%. And a very low one here under food and chemical sensitivity, which is only 11%. So this in reality actually tells us where our child's learning problems are residing at. So if you are a parent who has been spending a lot of money giving your child remedial classes or tuition and you're still not finding improvements, this free LD assessment will be very, very useful for you, because you will now know what to address and where to begin instead of wasting time and money on resources that will not be helpful. So here in this case, okay, if we're just going to go in and I'm just going to take one section, for example, vision, okay, so you'll see the first part here, vision, the count is 3 because I have 1, 2, 3, I have 3 yeses. So remember I told you that the important thing is to answer a yes or no, spelled in full. So if I were getting lazy and I just type in a Y instead of yes, you'll find that the count now actually changes to 2. And when you do that, your test results will not be accurate. Okay, so now when I change it back to yes, you get it 3. So what do you do now with this result here? This is the power of this free LD test. It was designed to help parents to know where to go for help. And if we look at this child now, there are 2 maximum points, joint and muscle problems and also audio perception. Both of these are at 56. If you don't understand this or you don't know where to go for help or what help is needed, below this score sheet, there is a line here for more information about what you can do now. Click here. So just click here. And it's going to bring you back to their website, where it will show you profile test, what to do now. Barbara has spent a lot of time working with different specialists, and the questions that were put there were really set up and shared by specialists in their various fields. So this would give you an identification of which are the experts that you should go to for help. Now, some of the facilities, I'm in Malaysia, and across Southeast Asia, some locations may or may not have all the facilities, or you may find that even after you read this, it's like so head heavy, you don't really understand or you don't know how to start. Well, if you need my help, then all you need to do is just save the file. You need to save the file anyway, make sure you save it. Okay, so when you finish your test, just make sure you save your file. You need to save the file to keep it not only for your own reference, but also more importantly, if you want to share it with me or with any of the experts you go to. The fact that these questionnaires were jointly developed between Barbara and the respective experts in their own fields, if we are going to see an audio specialist now, we can actually go and show the audio specialist the responses that we had under auditory perception, okay, that created the result of 56%. Then you can compare this with the results that the specialist gave you, or even discuss with them why their results are different. You know, maybe it could be the environment, the type of test they use, and so on. If you want to have support and help in analyzing this without going to a specialist, okay, then you can save the file and email the file to me. My email address is listed below, and I can arrange for a one-to-one appointment to discuss with you. So this is all about the test and how to go about it and what it does for you. www.movetolearn.com.au. Remember to go to this website. I'll show it to you once again. Go to resources, click free interactive LD profile test, and go all the way down to click here to access the test. This program was designed by Move to Learn to help parents, and we appreciate if you follow the copyright rules by not sharing just a simple Excel file to your friend, but get them to come here to click the link. The only way this link will continue to exist and support other parents is if we can see clicks coming here. If you start downloading the file and sharing it around, we will not have any access to this website. Nobody's going to click here to access the test. And if that's the case, we will deem that nobody really wants or needs this test, and we will remove it from the website. So your cooperation and understanding in this area is highly appreciated. Remember to do a subscribe to my channel, set notification bell on, so that you will be informed of future videos that are coming.